Recently, I acquired the coolest genealogical artifact ever, and in fact, it's in the frame of this video right now. Now, a few months ago, I had found a treasure trove of documents at my uncle's house because he had inherited boxes and boxes worth of documents of much of the family of my paternal side. Now, this was really incredible, and what I will say is it is somewhat to be expected that someone in my family would have boxes of records and photos because, after all, my grandmother had died a few years ago, and somebody in the family was bound to have something. So you might be wondering, why am I so excited about this particular genealogical artifact that I'm about to tell you about? And that is because I found this on no other place than eBay. That's right, eBay? The man who I suspect was my 5th great grandfather was Moses Sonnenschein. I'll be talking about him a whole lot more in the next episode of my Meet My Family line, where I'll get into the Sonnenschein family and a bunch of other things that I found on him. But as it turns out, he actually was a famous rabbi back in his day. He was the chief rabbi of Turok St. Martin County in what is modern-day Slovakia. And for this reason, there is a commentary on a famous book that he wrote, as well as a number of articles in old German language newspapers. And so when I started researching him as a historical figure rather than as a relative of mine, well, I found somebody who was selling something written by him. It's some sort of a birth confirmation for a Hani Kramer, daughter of Isaac Kramer and Anna Mittelman. Now, this family actually shows up in the 1848 Hungarian census, and there is a daughter named Anna, who I'm pretty sure is who this Hani refers to. But the record is signed and stamped by Rabbi Moses Sonnenschein of Turok County. And you can see there's a wax stamp that's still mostly intact from 150 plus years ago, which is just astounding. And if you zoom in kind of close to it, you can even see the details of the stamp showing that he's the rabbi of Turok St. Martin. I mean, just incredible, incredible stuff. It's one thing to see a signature on an old passport or document, that's uploaded on Ancestry and whatnot, but to have his actual signature hanging on my wall, something that was tangibly his, just absolutely blew my mind. And I was very, very lucky to acquire this for just about $60. So the seller had posted it on eBay a while ago and it didn't sell. But when I reached out to him and asked if it was still available, he said, absolutely, put it back up there, and I bought it for a total of $50 plus $10 shipping. Something that in my mind is pretty much a priceless thing for any genealogist to own. Now, I'm going to get into it a little bit more when I talk about the Sonnenscheins more in depth, but there is a very small possibility that Moses Sonnenschein wasn't my 5th great grandfather, that he was maybe my 6th great uncle. That's kind of uncertain. I put it at about a 75% chance that he is my direct ancestor, and I'll go into the reasons about that later. But as it stands, this is really just the coolest thing that I've ever found so far as a genealogist, and hopefully it's not the last thing. It just goes to show, if you can trace your ancestry to somebody that was even somewhat well known at any point in history, well, there are going to be records of them available somewhere. Now, they may be locked away in archives for the use of people to research them, as I kind of wish a document like this was, but as it stood, somebody in Hungary happened to own this and they sold it on eBay to me. So almost 170 years later, I am in possession of something that my distant relative signed, stamped, and it is a piece of history and a piece of my family. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the YouTube channel. As always, I'm looking forward to bringing you more episodes as well as tips and tricks that you can use in your own genealogical research. Also, make sure to follow me on social media. I've included links down below to both my Twitter and my Instagram. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.